What a fantastic day to be chosen to live this day, this moment. Doesn't matter what the date is, it doesn't even matter what the year is. What matters is that my creator, our creator of everything, chose me to wake up this day, to be in this moment, and to practice, right? Rejoicing and be glad in it. And so this is the free from recovery, emerge empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Conversation with Edwina B. Somebody said, why you say Edwina B? Because my last name really doesn't matter. Now, the name that was given to me is Edwina by my mother, not necessarily my dad, and I'll tell that story. But I don't use my last name. You know why? Is it really my last name? Is my last name really important? So I choose to not put my last name that was given to me as a way of identification. So when we talk about our series of conversations on what I believe is vitally important to have a discussion and conversation about. And that is, are you, like me, tired of being broken and broke? Let me repeat that. Are you, like me, tired of being broken and broke? Do you, like me, want to know how we became broken and broke? Where did the foundation come from? Family. I'll get into that more later. How did it all start? Family. I'll get into that later. Where do we go from here? So for every day that God bless me and I am able to present to you a free conversation to give you hope on how to address, resolve, and heal from our brokenness and being broke. See, you have to have a sense of humor. And I thank my creator, who I choose to call God, for giving me the ability to be sitting here before you this day as transparent and authentic as I can be. I am on my road to wholeness, completeness, the journey of recovery from discovery. So, are you like me, tired of being broken and broke? Let me share with you why this topic is so important to me and has been given to me by my creator because it touches the essence of our humanness and our spirituality. So we're going to first take a drink of coffee. Listen, wait. I've been in recovery for 33 plus years. And on February the 23rd of 2024, we will be celebrating 34 years from addiction and mental illness. Yes, yes. And so on February the 22nd of 1990 was when my brokenness was all shattered into little pieces on top of being broke. Okay. And so that particular day on February the 22nd of 1990, 3 o'clock in the morning, as an addict, as an alcoholic, even as a prostitute, that's where my brokenness from my foundation met its end for a new beginning of revealing what has been concealed and revealing it. Yes. Revealing what has been concealed for healing. Okay. And so let me share with you some of the tools that I have been using after I became the student and the teacher appeared. The student becomes ready and the teacher appears. I became a humiliating student on that early morning in the streets of Philadelphia underneath a parked car. Now listen, okay? So y'all just got to tune in every day to keep hearing different things, and it'll make sense to you after a while. But right now, just want you to listen. Not just hear me. I want you to listen. Listen. So these tools that were presented to me as a result of my knee-bowing experience on February the 22nd of 1990, I cried out to a God that I didn't know. Whoever they say you are, whoever they say you are, whoever they say you are, take me out this life now or show me a better way. Those words came from underneath a parked car. After getting high and doing all kind of sexual favors with my stepson, brokenness. But when I cried out those words, and this God that I didn't know did not zap me out, I surrendered all. I surrendered all. Take me out or show me a better way. There began my healing towards my brokenness. So that's the spiritual part, right? I was presented to a fellowship called Alcoholics Anonymous, a 12-step program that's spiritual in nature. And so not knowing the full implications of a 12-step spiritual program, I was willing to go, not knowing what it was all about. But I knew one thing. Hey, I knew one thing. I did not want to go back underneath that parked car. Brokenness. Brokenness. Dogs and cats get underneath parked cars. Brokenness. So whatever was ahead of me was surely, definitely better than what was behind me. So every time my unwillingness to accept and embrace and acknowledge my brokenness, I had the ideal of maybe it'll be different. And I go to look back and I'll be like, oh, hell no. I am not going back underneath that parked car. No. I surrender. Don't know what's in front of me, but I sure know what's behind me. My brokenness. So in this 12-step spiritual program was the first glimpse of my brokenness and where it came from, where it started, who all was involved and a part. Yes. So a 12-step spiritual program for me is like reading my book. Not that book. The book of my life, meaning going back to find out, Edwina, not what's wrong with you, but Edwina, what happened to you, my brokenness. So my 12-step spiritual program, coming up on 34 years, that I participate in every day, has given me the spiritual pathway to address my brokenness and being broke, to the point where, guess what? I am actually demonstrating, modeling, showing the spiritual results of those spiritual principles that I learned, am learning, will continue to learn from a 12-step spiritual program. The next resource that I was introduced to, let me go back, because there's another, I need to add something between the daily reflection readings, AA, and the 4 agreements. Okay. The other spiritual resource was the ability to allow myself to receive guidance from my higher power, who I choose to call God, that I needed to be affiliated with a religion of my choice. It was revealed to me in a dream. I needed to be a part of a religious family. I needed a shepherd. I needed a fellowship. I need to be within a congregation, right? Now, guess what? When I got that dream, I said, oh, hell no. No, no, no. Religion? Oh, no, no, no. The way they treated me and the way they treat people with addiction and mental illness, I don't want to be nowhere near those people. But 15 years after working on my spirituality, I needed more information on my brokenness. Huh? Yes. Mm-hmm. And so 15 years into recovery, yes, let me tell you what I did. When I had that dream of hearing music and following the music and opening up the door and seeing at the end of that hall was a podium and a preacher. And I knew the preacher. Brokenness and being broke. I didn't understand what was going on. And so after the dream, I decided to solicit the input, the suggestions, the advice, the guidance, right? The interpretation from religious leaders. Pick 3 of them. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm going to share on the one that the Spirit allowed me to accept, embrace, and to follow. And his name is Dr. Christopher Allen Bullock of Canaan Baptist Church. And let me tell you why I was led to him. When I told him about the dream, he asked me a few questions, and he said these words, Edwina, I want you to go back and ask the force that gave you that dream for guidance, direction, understanding, clarification for your answers. He said, you know why? Because that's the same source I use. He didn't proclaim to have the answer to my brokenness and being broke. But he sent me to the same source that he uses. And I've been with my pastor and my first lady, Dr. Debbie Bullock, for darn near 18 years. And I love my first family. Yes, I do. Okay? So the surrender, the knee-bowing experience that I had on February the 22nd, 3 o'clock in the morning, was the foundation that was laid for me to help with my brokenness. So now I seek to the hills for understanding, clarification from a spiritual angle to understand this earthly journey and how my brokenness and being broke is a process. Right? So now I can go to, now that I have my knee-bowing experience, right? Introduced to a 12-step spiritual program, right? With 12 spiritual principles. Okay? And then I was able to select a religion of my choice, right? And been with them for, like I say, 18 years. While doing my calling, if you will, I was conducting a workshop with some youth in Baltimore, Maryland, with Divine Light. Yes. Owner and CEO Sakina Dean Johnson now. But in that class, there was a young lady reading this book. And I said, what are you reading? And she told me. And I said, when I saw the word spiritual on it, boom. I'm attracted to spiritual wisdom, spiritual knowledge, spiritual understanding. Yes. And so I said, I would like to read it, right? So the seed was planted there. But let me show you how my creator worked. When I will return back to Wilmington, Delaware, I'm from Philly, but Wilmington, Delaware is where I live, right? Since I've been in recovery. I took a consulting job with the city of Wilmington Parks and Recreation Department. And while sitting at that desk, I was going through things, setting up my office, and I saw a box of books. And I recognized the book. It was the book that the young lady was reading. And bam, here was a whole box of them. So the 4 Agreements by the Ruiz family is another tool I use to help me with my brokenness, to help me understand why I'm still broke. Huh? The 4 Agreements are: be impeccable with your word. 2, don't take anything personally. 3, don't make any assumptions. 4, always do your best. And there's a 5th one, right? Learn to listen. Learn to listen, right? So those 5 agreements, the seed was planted because the spiritual student became more ready for more spiritual teachers. Okay. So I'm just setting the foundation, y'all, because listen, we're going to talk about this every day in one way, shape, form, or fashion, so that we can get an understanding that there is nothing wrong with us. But we need to know what happened to us. And guess who gave me that? Dr. Alvin Turner. I have a TV talk show, right, called Choosing a New Way of Life. And I have people to come on to share about different things. And he was basically into African culture and comparing the Western culture and whatnot. And he was talking about our youth and whatnot. And he was talking about the ills of our community and how we, from African origins, right, was brought into this Western, right, culture. Mm-hmm. And as a result of our brokenness being broken away, taken away from our culture, I wonder why we are yet broken. But he said something to me. He said, Edwina, when I talk to people, and particularly youth, you have to win. You have to earn their trust, their confidence. And he said, when a person is willing to share the deepest thoughts, feelings that they are have experienced, or thinking, you find out that there's nothing wrong with them. What you find is something happened to them. So with the scriptures, my religious association, with my spiritual association, with the AA program, and now with the 4 Agreements, I need a drink, a coffee. I am still thirsty. I am still hungry for more spiritual information that can help me with my brokenness, the generational curse of brokenness, and how I can stop the perpetuation utilizing these spiritual resources? Oh, yes. I got a cough. Listen, I ain't sitting up here trying to be cute and choke to death. No. So hold on. I told you I'm transparent and authentic. Okay. So with my thirst and hunger for more and more, guess what? I was introduced to Dr. Sonia of P3 University out of Atlanta, Georgia. The transformational teachings offered by her, set me on fire. Set me on fire, but it was a little burn. It was a little fire first, but I'm on fire now because I'm doing exactly what she suggested that we do. Share with other people how you healed once you identified, did the work, utilized the resources to address your brokenness, and then share it with them. And guess what? You're not going to be broke no more. Isn't that amazing? She basically says, those of us who've lived, 20 years old, 40 years old. I just turned 68 in December 16th, right? And I've been in recovery for 30, going on 34 years. Do you know how much experience I have in helping me with my brokenness? And yet I'm still broke? Are you kidding me? No, I'm not. So Dr. Sonia has a spiritual way of saying you have everything you need within you. You have the spiritual tools available to you to identify, embrace your brokenness. And it's all wrapped up in various experiences. You have your book. You are a walking book. Just share the story on platforms, as a coach, as a consultant, as a transformational speaker, as an author. Yes, I didn't come from a wealthy family, but Dr. Sonia said, let a wealthy family come from you. That's how I understand now. And why I'm on this mission, because I'm tired of being broken and I'm tired of being broke. So we are going to help each other, right? Find out the reasons how we became and are broken and broke. We're going to find out together where the foundation started so we can get a better understanding to find out what happened. Not what's wrong with us, what happened. Right? We're going to find out how it all started, where, what, who, when, how. Yes. For information, for the purpose of revealing what we've been concealing in order to heal from our brokenness and being broke. Okay? Listen, I ain't got but a couple minutes. Listen, it's 7 o'clock already. So, free to hope. Let me end with that for today's topic. Free from recovery, emerge empowered. I have addressed my brokenness, and yet I'm still broke. But that ain't gonna last much longer, because I am following the spiritual instructions, suggestions, guidelines, directions of my spiritual tools to help just one more person. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Embrace that I am broken and I am broke, but a change has come for me and a change has come from you, for you. Why? Because you're listening to me and I'm talking to you. All right? So join me tomorrow for another episode of Are You Tired of Being Broken and Broke? I am. But guess what? And what? So what? Now what? What's the next thing to do? What's the next right spiritual thing to do? Join me every day for some answers. Look forward to my virtual sessions, workshop, masterclasses, where I will avail to you additional tools, my books, share them with you so that you can do the same thing. Address your brokenness so that we don't have to be broke. To God be the glory.